Charlie Gasparino, you've been listening very patiently. Nothing really about the tax reform plan, which is what we here at Fox Business were hoping to hear.
No, nothing about the tax reform plan, and but I'm sure they're working on that. There's still a major push there, as you know, state and local taxes, the deduction for that, the SALT deduction is still something it's a problem for some Republicans that are in these high tax states. So Peter King, a representative from Long Island, would have a problem with that. And really, it was kind of interesting. Nothing about a resignation last week, which was pretty clear. And pretty interesting. Dina Powell, the former national security advisor to Donald Trump, announced that she was leaving. That she was leaving next week. Last week she was leaving. She's going to leave sometime in January and do something presumably in the public sector. Now we do know that she used to work at Goldman Sachs, and so we've been doing some reporting on this. It's very interesting. Powell, according to our sources, did call Goldman Sachs last week to alert them that she is leaving. Now, whether this is going to lead to a job or not, we have no idea, but we do know that she made contact with her old firm. She was in the government relations department of Goldman Sachs. She was there about 9 years, very close to a very powerful executive, but whose name you don't hear much about. His name is John Rogers. He's the chief of staff of the firm. Very close to Powell. The real question is, does Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, want her back? She has some friends in the on the board, and it's unclear whether Blankfein wants to bring her back, and it's unclear whether the taint of the Trump administration. Now, he's doing a lot of good things for business. Lowering the corporate income tax rate is one of them. Getting rid of regulations, but some of the rhetoric that comes out of there, the rhetoric with Gillibrand, when you work for public companies, that rhetoric could hurt you. It could taint a company that deals business with the public. And I think that's probably what Lloyd Blankfein, who is incidentally a longtime supporter of Hillary Clinton's presidential aspirations, is thinking. Now, the other name we keep hearing about, that's thinking of leaving the administration, is Gary Cohn. And now I know this has been out there a lot, but we've been hearing this more and more recently, that Gary Cohn, the chairman of the National Economic Council, one of the key architects of the current tax bill that's in front of Congress, at least the president's contributions to this tax bill, that he is telling people on Wall Street that he's going to be gone after the tax bill and probably sometime in 2018. Now, I think it's even less chance. I think if you're going to say Dina Powell is going back to Goldman 50-50 or maybe 60-40, yes. Not a done deal, but, it could happen. I think you got to give it very low odds that Gary goes back, and not because of anything he's done. These are both talented people. But, again, you have somewhat of the taint. But also, he was the number 2 to Lloyd Blankfein, and Lloyd, who a lot of people think is going to announce that he's going to step down fairly shortly, but within the next couple of years, already has mapped out his succession plan, and it's guys currently in the firm. So I would say it's unclear, whether it's probably less likely that Gary Cohn goes back there. But listen, if he lowers the corporate tax rate to 20% or 22%, I can't imagine people don't want to hire him because he's behind that. And Dina Powell, known as a very smart, genial woman, she's very, very, very likable. It's someone that you usually bring her into a firm. But it's unclear whether Goldman is the place. But I will say the one thing, Liz, there is a little bit of a taint with this administration. And
maybe it's something different here. And when it comes to Gary Cohn, yes, he will be very popular among corporations, but what the corporations do with the money that they get from this tax cut is a question.
That too.
Very quickly. It was just a month ago that the Wall Street Journal held a CEO summit where John Bussey of the Journal asked the audience, which was filled with CEOs, what will you do with the new money? Show of hands. Watch and see what happened here.
If the tax reform bill goes through, do you plan to increase investment, your company's investment, capital investment? Just a show of hands, if the tax reform goes through? Okay.
Why aren't the other hands up?
Why aren't the other hands up?
Gary Cohn was wondering why the other hands are up.
Listen,
because they're going to, most likely, the guess is, give it to their shareholders in dividends and stock buybacks.
Now, that might be good for Gary Cohn's job prospects, by the way. Let's be real clear here. I think taking down the corporate tax rate to a level that's competitive in the world, it's not right now. It's 35%, one of the highest in the world. Like the 3 other countries beat us, to something like 20% is a good thing. But let's be also clear. Corporate CEOs and boards have a fiduciary responsibility, not to their workers. They have a fiduciary their responsibility to their shareholders. So what they do with that money first is to help shareholders, and buybacks are the fastest way to help shareholders right off the bat. That doesn't mean it won't go in the future, but clearly, you know, it's going to be buyback city here, which is why the markets are going to 25,000, by the way.
Yeah. Well, right now we're at 24,515.
I know.
Great job.